You have chosen wisely.
Hello, welcome back to our Life Group Leaders Lounge. As usual, we are here to equip and inspire you to be the best life group leader you can be. We are joined today by Raquel, awesome Raquel from OB, and a special guest, Pastor Markus from Tier Santa.
Hello, hello.
Markus, welcome in to our Life Group Leaders Lounge.
Excited. Thanks for the coffee.
Yes,
Yeah.
I made that for you.
Yeah.
Today, we are talking about a really awesome topic today in light of Life Group starting up here shortly. Starting up April 18th. So
Yes.
We're talking about choosing your content. Choosing wisely.
Choosing wisely.
You guys remember Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade? This is how I came up with this topic. When Indy was down in the cave, and there was that knight who was there, and he said they had to pick a cup, right? And he looked at them and he said, "Choose wisely." And then,
You ever thought about doing voiceover work?
dude, I got accents galore here. You guys don't even know. We should do an accent podcast.
Yes, he does.
Anyways, so that's what we're talking about today. Choosing your content. It's a really important part of being a life group leader. It's an important part of your life group season. So, Pastor Markus, why don't you kick us off? Why is choosing the right content so important for your group?
Yeah, well, I think when you're choosing content, you have to think of why you're choosing the content, right? It's this content that you choose is going to help structure and completely facilitate what is happening in your group. And along with picking this content, there's also life that happens just in our world and in the personal lives of the people you're leading. So you want content that is going to encourage them and inspire them. In fact, Hebrews 10:24 would say, spur each other on in love and good deeds, right? So you're looking for content that would allow your group to be spurred on to do more for God's kingdom. So this is not something that is going to bring division. It's something that's going to bring unity, also purpose, identity, because it's going to be based on the scripture. It's going to be based on biblical values and a biblical worldview, and lead people to engage and interact with the world in a way that would reflect who Christ is.
That's awesome. Yeah, it seems so. Picking the right content is really, really important for the health of your group,
Right.
the spiritual growth and development of your group, and then just thinking about kind of future where you want your group to go, right?
Yeah.
So, Raquel, why don't you talk about, as a life group leader, how do you pick or discern the content that's really essential for your leaders this semester?
Did you talked about having like a listening ear?
Yeah.
What was the word you used? Is that it?
Discernment?
Developing a listening ear.
Developing a listening
Discerning,
ear,
yeah.
I think, is so important. And I also use the word like having a pulse on your group.
Yeah.
Like you said, knowing where they are in life. I think, so an example would be like, I lead a marriage group with my husband, and when COVID was flaring up big time, but when we were allowed to meet again, I really felt that pulse of my group of wanting to reconnect in their marriages, like deeply.
Yeah.
Whereas other times it's a little bit on the lighter end. Let's do something that's, conflict resolution or something like that. I also think so knowing where they are in life, knowing where like the world is at, I think is very
That's good.
valuable. And asking my group, have you ever
that's
heard
good.
of this topic, or have you ever heard of that topic? Nate and I went through this study and it was really valuable to us, and a lot of our members hadn't gone through it, and so we went through it again with them. Super valuable. Having members in my group ask me about topics. Hey, I saw this and I was really excited about it. And kind of giving them that freedom to choose topics also.
Oh, that's cool.
I think is super valuable.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Markus, what do you think? How do you pick the content for your group?
Yeah, so I think one of the first things which really would add value to a life group leader's decision is pausing everything and just spending time in prayer. Asking the simple question, God, where are you leading this group? Right? We are stewards of our group, and the people that are within the group, ultimately everything belongs to God. So we have to get to the point, all right, Lord, what are you teaching me as a life group leader? And also, what do you want to speak into the lives of the people that I'm leading? So it's just the heart posture of saying, all right, God, where are we going? And letting him lead. And life group leaders, please don't be nervous about that. My favorite prayer to pray is 3 words: God help me.
Yeah, that's good.
Let that help you today.
All day, every day.
For
real.
sure, for sure. I mean, every topic, everything that comes up, right? I mean, Marcus, I think that's a good prayer of like, someone has a challenging situation they're dealing with. They're looking to you for wisdom, insight immediately in your heart before you even say anything. God help me.
Right.
When you're picking your content for your topic, yeah, God help me choose what you want to do in the lives of the leaders. I think that's really, really key.
Right.
I know for me, as Raquel, you were talking about developing a listening ear, like that's something that I try to do as a leader is I kind of combine those 2 thoughts of prayerfully going to God and then having a listening ear and combining them together and saying, God, here's where I think our group is going. So what is the best content that can meet them there when they're moving that direction? So I know for our life group, my men's group, which I love my men's group, we talk about, one of our semesters was talking about discernment because a bunch of dudes in our group were going through transitions. Right. And so I thought, okay, Lord, we have as a group need to figure out how do we discern your leading and your directing. So we picked a really great book by, I think, Larry Warner talking about discernment. So I think it's combining those 2 ideas of prayerfully going to the Lord and then also developing an ear for where your group is at and saying, God, you see these people. How do we, what content will best help them and support them in this? Absolutely. So, and I'd add in one more thing. There's also that idea too of like, hey, as a ministry team, we're here for you to help you find the right content. Right. So you can bring content to your leadership team, your life group leadership team, your pastoral team and say, hey, I have this content. Have you done it? What do you think about it? Do you know this author? Or, hey, I want to do a book of the Bible. What's a good book of the Bible to do? We might say the book of James because it's really practical and helpful. Or maybe your group can study some Proverbs, and we'll provide you great content resources too. So your pastoral team, your leadership team, and also I would say your coaches are also here for you. I know we're trying to develop coaching ministry across all campuses. I know we had 2 new life group leaders who are starting at Tirsana, and that was one of the first things I said to them was, sit down with your coach and ask your coach what would be some great content that she has used in the past to help. And they were able to meet with their coach, Susie. Give a big shout out to Susie. She's our coach at Tirsana. Way to go, Susie. And she provided some great content for 2 of our new leaders, Christy and Suzara. So we as a team are here for you to help provide that content too. Right. So I got one more question for us today. Okay. So Pastor Markus, why don't you take this one away? Okay. Why is the sky blue?
Yeah. Yes.
Just kidding.
Because God made it that way.
Okay, good.
It's all perspective, really.
But also, the real question is, where are your go-tos? Like, what is your go-to for content?
Right.
What kind of content do you really like using that maybe some of our leaders who are listening haven't thought about using for the groups? Yeah,
well, first I would say sermon-based. Before you say, oh, we've tried that before, here's why I value sermon-based. So on a Sunday morning, we typically have about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes that we get to lead the people who are coming onto the campus and wanting to hear from God or hear some encouraging message. We have about an hour and 15 minutes. Within that hour and 15 minutes, there's worship, there's announcements, there's first-time guests, kids are getting dropped off, and we share as much as we can directly out of the Bible and allow it to be applicable to our life stages that we're experiencing right now. So with that being the case, when we have a sermon-based life group, you're able to dive even further into that text and do what I call the above and below. So we talked about, Hebrews, like I'll bring up the scripture we've talked about, Hebrews 10:24. Well, what about Hebrews 9, 8, 7, 6, 5? And what about Hebrews 11? What happened the few verses after and when this was said and why was it said? What was the context, that was said in? So you get to dive in a little further with the sermon study guide that goes out each week. So you can sign up for that. So sermon-based is a huge one. And then anything just from the Bible. Yeah. I love going through books and then finding other people that are speaking about the similar topic with the same theological mindset, right? So we have fundamental truths and essential truths. The Bible, God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, those are essential and fundamentals. Anything that comes against that is probably not a good curriculum or study for your group. Anything that affirms that man, let's dive into it. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I would add to the sermon-based life groups, if you are getting started as a life group leader, that is a great on-ramp for being for content for a life group, because we already have it prepared for you. I believe it goes out on Friday afternoons. As a leadership team, we process that, we write through that, we think of great questions and content to add, and then you literally will have in your hands on Sunday morning, because it comes out the Friday before Sunday, so you can bring that with you to church and take notes on it. And then when you're meeting with your group, it's just it's a lot easier to have that already ready for you. So that's a great on ramp for sure. Raquel, what do you like to use? What's your go-to for content?
Go-to for content is Right Now Media.
Right Now Media.
Woo!
Yes, yeah, RNM.
It is just a plethora. Is that what they call it now?
That's what they call
We
it,
need
man.
a
That's what the
bumper
that's what the
sticker.
cool kids call it.
Just a plethora of information on there, and you can even find the speakers that you like, and they have multiple studies on there, and you can just roll through those. I will leave it running as I'm like cleaning the house and listening, and say, I don't like that. Next,
Right.
Oh, okay, this one's good. I'll go back. Which one was that? So it's as a busy mom, it's easier for me to have, in busy life, to be able to pick a study that I like. And that's my favorite.
I really like what you said, is that you watch it or listen to it before you do it. I think that's pretty important.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's about there's on Right Now Media. It is like, if you're not familiar with it, it's like the Netflix of Christian Bible studies that we offer through Newbreak to you. You can sign up for free. We'll hook it up. We'll make sure you can do that. But there are so many studies. You may find one as you play it that you disagree with something, or it's like maybe way out of left field, or you're just not really feeling it with your group.
Yeah, or dry. The first couple things I'll do right away is if they have a trailer, for sure watch the trailer real quick. It'll give you like a brief.
That's a good tip.
Second thing is looking at the time stamps. So if every movie is about 10-15 minutes, like good.
Yeah, that's good.
If it's an hour and a half,
yeah, you don't want to take the whole time.
And then again, if I love when they have, we lead a marriage group, couples group, and if they have real life couples come in at the same time as the experts, I love that.
That's
if
good.
it's just, I saw one where it was just two men sitting in a room, like talking about, I guess, fundamentals of, it just wasn't my jam.
Yeah,
it wasn't
for
going to
sure.
connect. Yeah,
It was dry. That's what I meant by,
That's
I
good.
like,
That's good feedback. Really, really helpful. Yeah, and it's topic based, so you can just search through the topics. It's really good. And again, you have just so much insight and knowledge from your leadership team that can help you pick some studies that have worked with us in the past, for sure.
What about you?
For me, I really enjoy going through books with my life group. Not everybody likes doing that, because some people don't feel comfortable, doing a lot of extra reading before the group. People feel like they have homework, so they're not into that.
Yeah.
For our group, we've developed a rhythm where we pick books that are really, really helpful to the stage that we're in as dudes in our life group. And then
Dudes.
Yeah, dudes in our life group. Enrichment for the soul. Shout out to our guys. And then also maybe chapters that aren't super long. So if there's, one book we read Knowledge of the Holy by Tozer, and those chapters were like 5 pages per chapter.
Yeah.
But even though they were 5 pages, they were about 100 feet deep. So it just depends on the type of content you're picking. So make sure when you pick a book that you take a look at the contents, the table of contents, and find out how long the chapters are. Make sure you read the book first before you assign it to your group. I find that's really helpful. And then...
And look up the authors.
Yeah, make sure you're aware of the authors, their background, maybe their theological disposition on certain things.
Sometimes reviews.
Yeah, reviews can be really helpful.
People do those.
Yeah, I've
never done a
Amazon
review in my life.
Book reviews.
People do 'em.
I know.
Yeah, so anyways, books are a great resource too, and we have great leaders that have read a lot that can give a lot of insight. And that's one of the reasons why, Pastor Markus, we invited you on, because we know Pastor Markus, he loves to read. He's always reading new things. Why does reading, by the way, just curiosity, why is reading so important to you and your development as a leader? Just want to throw that in.
Yeah, well, I've always loved reading ever since at a young age. And I really believe that leaders are readers. And so the more I read, the more I'm challenged. I've heard it said that if you're reading through Scripture and the God of the Bible does not challenge the way that you think, we may not be worshiping the same God. Right? So I'm always looking for things that are challenging me. Like, God, why would you allow this to happen and this to happen simultaneously? So I'm looking for things that are going to put into more simple words for me to understand, because I'm a very simple-minded person. Hi.
Man.
Yeah.
Men in general.
I'm
kidding.
Kaboom! Kaboom!
Men, get out of
But yeah,
here.
so I fully love it, and just been fascinated by seeing what God can do in leadership books or theological study books. C.S. Lewis, one of my favorite, Mere Christianity. Simple, love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, and I would say one more benefit of doing reading a book is that if the people in your group are not great big readers, then maybe you can suggest an audible version of that book. So make sure when you do choose a book that there's an audible version, because I know quite a few guys in my group, they listen to audio version, and then when we come together to talk about the book, they'll just reference quotes that they remember or things like that. So yeah. So anyways, Pastor Markus, thank you so much for being on here with us. That was awesome. We appreciate it. Look forward to having you back again. Raquel, awesome as usual. Thanks for joining us today, where we are here to equip and inspire you, and we're pumped. I have one announcement to make real quick. This coming Sunday, April 11th, we have our Life Group Leaders Training, where we're going to talk about shepherding and caring for you. We got a taco guy who's going to be making fresh tacos for us. It's totally free. We just want you to sign up at newbreak.church/events so we know how many people are coming. It's at 1 o'clock at Terrasana. Be there, be encouraged. We're going to equip you. It'll be a great time to hang out outside, socially distanced around round tables so people feel more safe. And so again, thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.